Now let us see that how this event is going to happen and what are the event properties are. The event properties are bubbles, cancelable, and prevent default. Any function that you will be going to write, you can have these things. Okay. So what do you mean by bubbles? So this is an event bubbles property is set to be true. If it is going to be set to be true, then there must be an event handler in place of to handle that particular event, or it will be bubbles up to the parent. So from child to the parent, that bubbles over there. So hence it is going to be called as bubble property. Okay, triggers an event handler. Okay, there's another event is there, that is cancelable event. Cancelable property it is it's a boolean property. It is indicates whether or not event is going to be cancelled or not. Can I cancel this event or not? That it is. Prevent default. So if it is going to happen, the action is going to happen, so you have to default, you have to be get prevented. So cancelable default action for an event can be stopped using the prevent default method. So here the example is being given. Function submit button is clicked. You click, error raises over there. If that is a event, okay, cancelable, whether this event is cancelable, clicked. So whether it is cancelable, if it is cancelable, then prevent default values, whatever that it is there, that it should be prevented. There are so many event types are there. Which is being prescribed by the W3 consortium. So there are mouse events are there, keyboard events are there, form events are there, frame events are there. 4 types of events. Now what do you mean by mouse events? There are so many are there. On click is there. Okay, on click is the mouse has been clicked on an element. One click it is going to be. On double click that you are going to make it. That time what happens? On mouse down. See, now I am going to say this is mouse down. Just I click down. I am not open that. If I am going to open, it will become what happens? On click happens. It is mouse down. Nothing was happened. Okay. In the similar way, on mouse up is there. Now I am clicking down. Nothing is happening. When I am going to say up, it takes to the next. Okay. So this is a mouse up event. It is then on mouse over. So when you will be going to take crossover that particular boxes and all these things, the action is going to be triggered. What you will be going to write in that action, that it is going to be get executed over there. Not click. It is on mouse over. It is on mouse out is moving out of that particular element. Okay. You can see all these things by using some examples. Okay. On mouse move. Mouse move means it is going to be like this. Select operations and all these things that it is going to be there, right? So that it is going to be on mouse move. It is going to be. Okay. These are the mouse events. Then keyboard events are there. On key down. So just click down. Nothing is happening. Up. Then only it is going to happen something, right? So on this is on key down. Some actions. On key press means one click. Okay. That is. Then on key up. Down nothing is happening. Up only it is happening. So like this. Events are going to be there. Then we have input type is text and key example it is going to be, okay, is being given here. Document, there's input box is there. Okay. Example is going to be here. You can see document.getElement by ID key example dot on key down. So on key down, some function is to be get executed here. Okay. Function, that is my function is there. So variable key pressed, okay, key dot key code, if it is going to be any one key. Okay. Variable character is equals to string dot form from the character code. Okay. Key pressed, which key you have been pressed, that it is going to be get alerted in this. So this program what it does, so whichever the key you have been pressed in this keyboard, that it is going to be displayed on the screen by using the alert method. Then here form events are there. On blur, this is an event. It is on blur means what happens. So in the text box that your key is means your mouse pointer is there, or cursor is going to be there. Out of focus when it comes, when it goes to the next text box, the trigger is going to get executed over there. On change, any changes it will be there in that text box, you'll be going to type it. Okay, so your action is going to be present in that time. The actions is going to be get executed, means what action that you will be going to write on change, that it is going to get selected over there. Okay. Then here on focus, so on click of that particular field, the text box, so when you click, what happens? So you'll be going to write for that. This small script you have to write it. On reset, so on reset is one of the function where the form is going to be there in that, so elements are being written, and if anything is being inputted in that, okay, input is been written, then on reset, if you say all the things have been cleared, is the reset for that particular form. On select, you'll be going to select the text like this, you'll be going to select, right? So when the select option is there, so either you can copy or paste, those things you can able to do it. On submit, what should happen? So on submit, the action goes to the server, whatever that you have been written in that path, that it takes place. Okay. These are the form events. Now frame events. Frame events are the events related to the browser frame that contains web page. Okay. So there is the first event is going to be called as onload event. Now whenever your program is going to get loaded, what should happen? Now simple example I am going to tell you. Window.onload, the function is there. Here it has been given like that. So whenever you will be going to start your laptop or computer, okay, so what should be seen on the first screen when it is completely loaded? So you should see in the desktop screen that you should see. Okay. So where you will be going to get operated that particular function, that particular operation you will be going to write it. That particular form it should be seen. So that you will be going to write it over here. So in the windows.onload, in this function that you will be going to write it. Okay. Similarly, any programs that you wanted to execute on instance, that particular location, so those functions that you can able to write it here. Onload. There is a on abort. Something you press the abort button, then what you should do? Stop that particular loading of the form, or the form is to get closed. So those things that you should write it. On error, what should happen? Any error that you will be going to get. For example, you have been clicked for some particular page is going to be there. So if that particular page is not going to be available, then what you should do? You should raise some error message. Right? On load, what should happen? On resize. On resize is nothing but here is the we can say that screen is there, right? So if I'm going to shrink it, then what it should happen? So automatically the navigation bar should appear. I'm going to write it. So that action should happen. Then here on scroll. So if you're going to scroll it like this, okay. So what should happen in this? That it is going to be on unload. The document is unloaded. So coming out of that particular functions. So then what you should do? Those things that you'll be going to write it over there. These are the functionalities, the events are going to be there, and what action that should happen, that also you should write it. Okay. Validating the form. How will you want to validate these forms? Writing the code to pre-validate the forms on the client side will reduce the number of incorrect submissions. Is reduced to the server load. Beginning only we are saying that because of that only we are using the JavaScript. Okay. So any errors are going to be there, incorrect submissions are going to be there. That is going to get reduced by using the JavaScript. Okay. So you have to validate these things. Then there is a number of common validations rules are going to be there here. Email validation, number of validations. Okay. Then data validations are going to be there. So you can see here it's going to be checked only one. Okay. Function is now numeric. The one text box is there. We will be going to check whether it is going to be only numeric is entered or not. So return is none. Okay. Pass float. Okay. And is finite. So these two functions, if it is being called, then If only